3, 2, 1. Oh my God, it's 2024. Oh my goodness, it is actually 2024. I'll give you the whole if it's Tuesday, it's Comic Book School Live, but oh my God, it's 2024. Where did 2023 go? I hope that most, if not all of you, planned some sort of 2023 roadmap for yourself and achieved as many of the goals as you possibly could. If not, well, 2024 is here and it's the beginning of January and time for us to literally have a fresh start. And speaking of fresh and shiny starts, I'd like to bring to the stage my good friend, New Year Mike Fasolo.
Hi, Bud. Happy New Year.
New Year, new Mike.
Yeah, that's what it is.
What's wrong with old Mike?
Well, you always got to start the new year with a new one.
Do you?
Yeah, you gotta.
Did Santa bring you any special gifts worth noting?
Yeah, I got some clothes. I mean, nothing that I can go, oh, this is the greatest thing I've ever had in my entire life. No, I got some clothes, got some pants, got some stuff.
I guess people were saying, giving you a hint about your wardrobe.
Yeah. Well, you know my wardrobe. It's all free, Bud.
Well, one of my daughters got me this terrific Spider-Man shirt.
Nice.
So I'm pretty excited. And I got a bandsaw.
A bandsaw.
And if you're watching on Instagram, you will see some of the things that I'm making. I've been making some of my resin art. Why don't I just show you real quick?
Yes, I haven't been on Instagram in a while, but if I'd known you got a bandsaw and we're doing stuff, I would have tuned in.
Yeah, I got to just tell you, it's pretty amazing. I still can't find the buttons. That's not the thing that's amazing though. All right, so here you go. So this is my first.
That's not you.
Well, that is Darren Sanchez. This is my very first full resin complete. You can see that it was a distressed cover. And what I did was I locked it in resin. I signed the back of it. It is indeed a prototype, but that is the front and back of the cover. They're not quite ready for public consumption, but Darren is a huge fan. I said to Darren when we were in Morocco, I said, what are your favorite characters? He said he would have to say it was Hercules and then Thor. And I had this issue and I decided to lock it in resin for him.
So did you just rip the cover off and then dip it in resin?
More or less.
Yeah. I would like to see that. I'll have to tune into Instagram.
Yeah, I've been posting. So I got a new bandsaw so that I could cut the edges exactly the way they're supposed to be. But yeah, this is what I worked on during Christmas break. I was working on my my resin comics. So we're working on those. Oh, and also I just love this panel. Can you read that for me?
Meanwhile, the first wave of attacking beasts has reached the entrance to the underground city.
Yeah, in my mind, if you have dinosaurs with a battering ram trying to break down the door, you are screwed.
Yeah,
like
that is true.
You are in big trouble when dinosaurs are like, we figured out how to use a battering ram. Imagine that.
There's lots of planets up in the sky there too.
Yeah, there's Saturn in the background, and they're really going at it, these
Yeah.
guys. This
Bam,
guy
bam,
throws
bam.
some English into it. He's like,
What kind of
from my
what kind of dork can stand up to dinosaurs with a battering ram?
I don't know, but I have to tell you, you would read this comic, and so would I.
Yes, I would. I also see you're doing a little bit of the scruff.
I am. By the way, Glenn Gattilla's already adding some predictions. We have predictions. Let's. You want to read Glenn's first prediction?
Yeah. Where is it? Predictions from me. The world ends, and I join a motorcycle gang led by a burned up dude in bondage gear and hockey mask. His name is the Lord Homunculus, aka the Ayatollah o Rock and Rolla.
Wow, Glenn's he's pretty specific about this coming year.
My only question is, if the world ends, how is he going to join this motorcycle gang?
I don't think Glenn thought about that one through.
Maybe he meant like the society ends.
He actually had a slight clarification. You want to just read? He just tweaked it a little bit.
I mean, send more submissions and anthologies to connect with more creative types. Yes. Yeah, that's.
Oh, he said it was the Road Warriors. I thought it sounded familiar, but
yeah, it was tough to pick up on. That was.
But so anyway, Mike, I've prepared some slides. We've got a good show for people tonight who want to talk about predictions and some tips and tricks for the coming year. How do you feel about that?
I think that's a good idea. And I really liked your opening graphic of the person jumping the cliff from 2023 to 2024.
Do you? Thank you. I feel good about that. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull up my handy dandy slides. I got a big announcement tonight too, Mike.
Oh,
I'll be sharing. Yeah, that's
Is
right.
it about the beard?
No, you're obsessed with my facial hair tonight.
I can actually see it, which is shocking.
Yeah, this is a good couple weeks of undergrowth.
Nice. Look at that.
I went on Pixabay, and it is that's where I'm getting all the images tonight. Pixabay. It's all legal. They are Creative Commons. So for people who are concerned about me using other people's art, these are all from Pixabay Creative Commons. Not stolen.
Good. You've done good.
Thanks, Mike. Glenn noted autocorrect is my enemy. It is indeed, Glenn. It is said so in the past, and it sticks with that. All right, so Mike, we've got some predictions and tips. 2024 predictions. So by the way, for those of you who are new to our show, you can catch us on YouTube. We have a Facebook community. We tweet on X. I tried tonight to stream live on X and stream live here on Instagram. I don't know if it's working. I don't think it actually is, but apparently we will be able to stream from those platforms soon enough, Mike.
That's pretty nice. You just got to learn how to do the buttons.
I got to learn how to do the buttons. I think I'm a little button challenged, but this year we're gonna be more buttoned up. But this is the big announcement, Mike. Hold on, let me get myself the big old. Hold on, stand by, please. As I pull up.
There you go.
So this year,
a double one.
It's on loop.
People are very excited.
It's on loop. So if you are a Valiant Comics fan, as I have been since the very, very beginning, you will be happy to know that I am contributing to the Very Valentines special.
Nice. Which story? Is it one of the cover ones?
It's Faith and Archer, where you see that red arrow.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be,
yep. There you go.
I wrote I don't know who drew it, but I wrote the heck out of it. My editor, Lisa Hawkins, who is frequently at comic book school panels and conventions, was my editor. She was also my editor at Marvel. And I think we put together a heck of a story, Mike.
It looks pretty good so far.
Yeah, so it is coming out, I believe, in February. We didn't have a chance to talk about it prior to this, but I just went to my local comic shop in New Jersey. It's called The Joker's Child in Fair Lawn, New Jersey, and they were able to pre-order it for me. So if you love me, Mike, you'll pre-order a copy.
Pre-order a copy at my local comic shop. I'll have to
Your
go find
local
one.
comic shop. So that's big news for me. I'm very excited. It is my
Congrats.
second published credit at Valiant, but the first one here at the new Valiant, where they're being published by Alien Books.
I like the title. Valiant.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, and what's cool about it is, I press a little bit on my my romance side, Mike. It's a Valentine's special, and I talk. I'll tell you, I get in touch with my inner romantic, Mike.
Nice. Is the story going to make us cry?
I hope so.
Maybe shed one tear?
I hope so.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. Not shedding a tear. Again, we are going to be talking about our 2024 predictions, and I should strive to tell everybody these are not endorsements. This isn't what we wish will happen. It's not like, these are the predictions. That means they want them to happen. No. As industry observers and people that work actively as professional comic book writer, in my case, professional screenwriter, in my case, we look at what's happening in the world and we predict what will happen in the coming year. Again, this is a prediction, not an endorsement, right, Mike?
Exactly. No endorsements, just predictions.
Just predictions. And I had a couple. You had one or two. So we're going to just start off. AI has been controversial.
Mm-hmm.
And will continue to be controversial. But I believe in 2024 that there is so much money on the line and so much opportunity that there will be a way to make AI work for professionals. I predict that Adobe is one of the companies, and Microsoft is one of the companies that will allow you to remix your own content, teach the tool how you want to create content, not stealing other people's content, not scraping the internet, but rather building a learning model that allows you to do more of you. And I think it'll become a professional tool. Right now it's free, right? You go on it and oh, it's all free. Some of them are paid, but you get what you pay for. This is billions of dollars invested in this. They didn't make it for you to use for free.
Yeah, that's very interesting that you say you can make it more of you and not just scrubbing photos and other words from the internet. That's interesting.
Yeah, I do honestly believe that a paid model will make it possible for us to upload our own content, have the system analyze it, protect it, and gate our content, and then use artificial intelligence in some way to make more content, make better decisions, analyze. But I do think in 2024, you'll see the emergence of paid subscriptions and paid subscriptions that allow you to use content that is not stolen.
I mean, GPT chat now is free, isn't it? And Midjourney,
they all have
free-ish.
Yeah, free-ish. They have, premium subscriptions, but nothing that's truly like what I pay for Adobe.
Yeah.
Adobe's an investment.
Yeah.
And when I make something, even with Microsoft, where I'm making these slides, I'm remixing content. Now, I use a little bit. I've paid for these fonts. I paid for the fonts. I paid for the software. And I use Creative Commons imagery that was uploaded legally and tagged as Creative Commons. I have to make an effort, but I also have to make an effort to steal other people's stuff and make art from other people's stuff. Yeah. I just think that in the coming year, we will see the emergence of a professional grade tool.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. So you could upload all of your screenplays and look for a theme that you didn't know was there, and it'll give it. It doesn't mean it's going to do the work for you, but it can do an analysis that you didn't see in your own work.
Yes, I would like it to do the work for me, though.
Nah, you got too many good ideas for it to do your work. All right, here we go. Mike, this is yours. Talk to me. What's your 2024 prediction?
My prediction, and we've seen some of this in 2023, is that especially the superhero and even into the Star Wars area, you're going to just get content fatigue. There's going to be so much that they're going to pump out just because it's all about content and making money, that they're just going to throw everything they can at the wall and not care about story or, characters or anything. Just get anything they can out, which will be kind of sad, I think.
Honestly, Mike, I felt the fatigue in the last 2 years. I think a lot of people did. I think channels like Disney Plus, and then HBO had a lot of animation. There was a point where you want to watch as much as possible and keep up. And people are saying, oh, The Mandalorian's great, and Loki season 2. And I'm like, season 2? Can I just watch season 1? And I think that the content fatigue is real.
Yep.
And
I think it's going to get worse.
Well, I don't know, man. I think a lot of stuff got canceled with Bob Iger going back and James Gunn going in and, shaking up the Etch-a-Sketch. I don't know if we're going to see more, but I think there's still a lot in the pipeline.
There's definitely a lot in the pipeline, but I honestly believe, because it happens all the time, that they're just going to keep pumping out stuff. Even if they see it doesn't actually work and it's not good story and their audience falls off, they'll just be like, let's just get it out.
Let's just get it out. Gatilla comments that the word content now makes my teeth itch.
We should go see a dentist about that.
You should see a dentist about that. All right. So I think content fatigue is here, but I think 2024, there will be more, because I do think there was a lot of pent up work that's just going to get pushed hard into the marketplace. And then also, I will note, I think what's interesting about new content is you had the Taylor Swift movie, and my wife and kids just went and saw the Beyonce movie. It's not just scripted work that's hitting the movie theaters, right? It used to be in television, you would have reality TV. Suddenly, reality TV is hitting the silver screen.
Yeah.
Right. And I think you're going to see more concerts and a lot more content, a lot more choices on streaming channels, because I think every band in the world is going, well, why can't we put up our concert?
Oh yeah. And it would be good if, a movie takes a lot of money to produce, but if independent creators can now make their own deals with movie theaters, and they can, today you can make a good movie just on your iPhone. So if they can do that and make their own content and get it into the theaters, that would be a great thing to see.
I don't know if it's going to be a great time for writers of scripted programming in terms of like getting paid.
Yeah.
But I think there's going to be a lot of content out there. I don't know if it's going to benefit writers as much as we'd like to see it benefit writers. All right. Mine is more crowdfunding, maybe too much. I think we're seeing major players and publishers starting to use crowdfunding as a way of getting their work out to an audience. It's hard to get things through the distributors. It's expensive. It's time consuming. And I think that going direct to your audience is going to become more appealing to publishers. Top Cow did a Kickstarter. Todd McFarlane did a Kickstarter. This is how they're getting to their audience. I just think that, like scripted television, I think it may become too much of a good thing, and it could hurt the smaller crowdfunder who doesn't have the means that the McFarlane team has or that Top Cow has. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that I think there's going to be a lot more crowdfunding, but it may be too much, because if you go on Kickstarter, there's just so many projects.
Yeah. And the people who are even just searching, Kickstarter for new things, they're going to lean more towards, a McFarlane or something like that than just some indie nobody who's trying to get his thing out there.
And that is indeed a challenge. So I think we're going to see a lot more crowdfunding this year because people are going to go direct to their audience, the inspiration, everything from comics publishing to books publishing to movie funding to even what we were just talking about with artists like Beyonce and Taylor Swift striking these deals and going outside of the normal distribution. I think things are going to change. Also, as in the picture, I think we're all going to be taking euros in this current year. So
and light bulbs.
And trading all those euros for that light bulb. I'm like, that's a lot of euros for that one light bulb.
Yeah, that light bulb better last for a long time.
That is a good gosh darn light bulb. Okay. I got one more. And this is, I think we're going to see, and I have no inside information because I literally have no information about anything. I think we're going to see unexpected partnerships. Back when you had a company like Facebook buying Instagram or a company like Google buying YouTube, it was unexpected. When AOL bought Time Warner, it was unexpected. Sometimes we got Merry New Year to my two favorite people, me and Buddy Scalera. Wow. I think that is Greg Orlando.
That is our good friend Greg Orlando.
Greg Orlando. Blur Flog the X. I don't know.
Hi, Greg. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. But I do think that this will be the year where you'll see either a merger or an acquisition that might not seem to be extremely logical, like two video game companies merging, or when Microsoft launched a video game console, right? Like these are all things that are very familiar now, but at the time, they just seemed unexpected. So I just think that this year we're going to see a convergence of companies. Most notably, I do think that technology companies will want to buy content and media companies as a way of creating a content pipeline. So I see a media buy by tech giants who can afford it. You know, these $1 trillion companies can buy a studio, buy all these properties that would not necessarily fit into their portfolio, but I do see some unexpected partnerships. What do you think, Mike?
Interesting. I like the way you're thinking, bud. Really thinking outside the box.
But do you think that there's legs to it?
Well, I mean, if some tech company buys, Warner Brothers, it's a great platform for them to advertise their own stuff and make some interesting content as well.
Well, what cable company owned Verizon and one of the other? They owned media companies. It was unexpected, but I don't think it worked out.
Yeah, AT&T has Turner or Warner Brothers.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I do think that it was deeply unexpected when Google, which was just a search engine at that point, bought YouTube. It was one of the biggest purchases. But now you look back and you're like, well, that was a great purchase. Yep, there it is, Comcast. But I think that in this coming year, that we're going to see some stuff that makes us go like, wow, I didn't see that coming, See, still owns NBC Universal. So they own the wires and then they own the content. So I do think that you'll see some mergers and acquisitions. And I would not be surprised if one of the mid to smaller size publishers was acquired.
Interesting. I look forward to seeing if that happens.
Well, we'll be here every week to talk about it.
That's right. A prediction by Buddy Scalera.
Mike, shifting over to a 2024 recommendation. Talk to me. You said that you wanted to what? Tell people to do what? To
set smaller goals. I mean, have a big end goal, but mainly focus on the smaller goals. And I've done this for a couple of years. I always, at the beginning of the year, I'm like, I'm going to write a book this year. And then, 3 weeks into it, when I've gotten like 12 words down, I'm like, this is ridiculous. It's too much. And I just give up. So have the end goal there. Like, you want to write a book, but just focus on the smaller ones. Like, I'm going to write 500 words today and just keep plugging along at that. And again, it's like anything else. If you don't hit the goal that day, don't beat yourself up. Just be like, okay, get back on the horse the next day and do what you can. So yeah, anything that you can do to shrink the goals, or at least a piece of the goal, to an achievable chunk is what you should focus on, instead of, I'm going to do this giant thing. I'm going to do a little tiny piece today. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, it's important also to set a goal that is within your control. Writing a book is within your control. Getting the book published by, Random House is not within your control.
Yeah.
People are like, I want to get published by Marvel this year. I said, you and millions of other people.
Yeah. Join the club.
Even those of us who've been published by Marvel still want to be published by Marvel. But best of luck to you. However, that doesn't mean that you cannot write your own comic book, set a goal, write one issue. People are often talking about, I'm going to write this 12, issue arc, and that'll be the first in a month. Write one issue.
Yeah.
Can you write the first issue? Well, write the first issue. So I think setting a goal, when you think about goals, I think it should build towards what you want to do. If you want to tell, if you burn to tell romance stories, don't look around and say, oh, well, what are the romance stories about? Just do your own. Set a goal and write your story, right? When I did Apocalypse Boulevard, I wanted to tell a story where it involved cars, because I love cars. I didn't look around. I didn't see a lot of stuff out there that involved cars and comics, but I did my thing, and I set a small goal. I was just going to write one miniseries. That's it.
Yep, that's all you had to do, and it got done.
It got her done. So I love your small goals, and mine, along the same lines, but not exactly, is making a list. I am a big believer in a bucket list, Mike.
Yeah.
And I said that at home, and my daughter said, "What is a bucket list?" And I said, "Before things you're going to do before you kick the bucket." And she said, "What is kick the bucket?" And I'm like, I'm gonna teach you all these things. I believe in writing lists. I wrote a list at the beginning of last calendar year. Last year's first episode was about making lists. Did you make a list last calendar year, Mike?
I did not make a list last year, but I've started a list this year of smaller things that I can accomplish easily.
I think that's great. One of the things that I recommend, and that I will take a picture of it one day and send it over, is I keep my list in a very visible spot in my garage, where I primarily go in and out of the house and do a lot of my work. And that list I have to walk past, and I have to see that list of things that I want to accomplish in this calendar year. And it was extremely helpful to keep that list right in front of me.
Yep, I did that in my office this year. I put so far all the things that I have written right on my whiteboard. So when I walk in, I see it. It's the first thing I see, and then I can see if things are checked off or crossed out or whatever.
Good. I think that's good. And the image here, it says "before I die." I would like to note, on a somber note, Mike, nobody plans on dying. I mean, some people do, but you know what I mean? Like, COVID hit, it kind of forced us to reassess everything. And everyone that's tuning in, I am assuming, is still alive.
In some form or another.
Watching from the afterlife. But, we lost some good people during COVID. And, you got to kind of live life like it's finite. And this is not a rehearsal for the next time you get a life. Like, I think it's important for you to think about your bucket list or things that you want to do before you die, because, and this was one of the things I wanted to do. This show, Mike, was something that I really wanted to do. And I'm grateful to you for, humoring me and doing the show.
I'm a big fan, bud.
Yeah. But it was something I really wanted to do. It was on my bucket list. I'm going to do this. And you were there for me. So thanks, Mike. You're a good friend. Just thank you.
Thank
you. Catilla says, alive. Yes. Alive. He's in his Frankenstein mode. So anyway, I do think that it's really important for you to not only commit to goals, shorter goals. I think it's important to document it. Having a list will keep you honest. It'll keep you focused on your priorities. and also have a couple bucket list items. And I have a couple bucket list items that I'd like to accomplish before I die. And I've done a few of them. I did get to do a bucket list item a couple years ago, Mike. I got to drive on the German Autobahn where they have no speed limit.
How fast did you get?
I got to approximately 140 miles an hour.
Nice.
And I don't want to do it again.
You hit 140 and you're like, oh, all the way down.
Wow. I was with the guy who was like, you got to go faster. I'm like, I don't think I can.
I'm guessing that it's not a crowded highway. It's probably very
not
open.
A crowded highway. And then any turns, all turns are kind of banked.
Mm-hmm.
And then the car that I was driving had what was called a heads-up display. So you didn't look at the dashboard. It projected onto the glass.
Oh, that would have freaked me out.
So you could see your speedometer and your tachometer, but you see the road right through it. And
it's how it's all straight, or mostly straight, isn't it?
Glenn says, how many kilometers was that? And I say, Glenn, it was all of them.
It
was all the kilometers. I don't know. I was just, when I was looking at the heads-up display, I read the
heads up,
the miles, not the kilometers.
Yeah,
because I wanted to know how fast I was going. So it was like, it was white knuckled. So I do have some other things that are on my bucket list, and I am I'm looking at it. You know, one of the things was to write for Valiant. For me, that was a big goal for me.
There you go. Congrats.
And getting to do a comic for Valiant was like, definitely, now I want to do more.
Now, are you checking that off in 2023 when it was written, or for 2024 when it will be published?
I'm going to do it for 2023 because that's when I wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I can't control something that someone else does. But my goal was, and I did set it because I love the Valiant characters, came up with them as I was discovering comics in my adulthood. And yeah, I hope people check that out, Mike. But that was one of my goals.
All right. Well, excellent. You got the Autobahn and Valiant. Well done.
That's right. So, Mike, one last message, and I think it's really important. I think in 2024, do the things.
Do the things.
I had a person who I met in. Thanks, Greg. Had a person follow up with me who I met in Morocco and did exactly what I told her to do, which was, if you meet me, I will not remember you. Take a picture of the two of us together and then email me. And she did, and followed up with her portfolio, and her art was quite good. And we were talking, and she asked for some advice, and I started to just feedback some advice, and she expressed what she really wanted to do. And I was like, well, that's it. I mean, if what you like to do is design characters and make covers, do the things, you know. But I'd also like to write for Marvel. Okay, well, then you have to make art that looks like the kind of art that Marvel wants to publish. And that just, it's do the things. You know, the barrier of entry when we were breaking in, Mike, required you printed something out, right? You typed your resume, you typed your cover letter, you put it in an envelope, you took it to the mailbox, you mailed it, you waited, they got back to you, right? Now you can literally build your own platform of followers and people who subscribe to you. And if you need that third-party validation, you crave that third-party validation from Marvel or DC or another publisher, you can get out there and bring the weight of your audience with you. You can also create your own character and publish that character. You could get it out on YouTube and Webtoons and different publishing platforms. You could even put it on your own publishing platform, like your own website. There is a very low barrier to entry. All it is inertia and getting started.
Yep.
So I think people have to do the things.
Got to do the things. I'm gonna put that in a quote somewhere on my whiteboard. Do the things.
I think you should do the things. And in 2024, it's about doing the things, and then continue to. And doing the things also requires a couple of things. Like you and I wanted to do this show. We've had to be consistent.
Yes.
Even when we didn't want to do the show.
When we're not prepared.
We did the show. And when I was away, we had a guest host do the show. This is important to me personally and professionally, and to you as well, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do the things, and you have to be consistent, and you have to hold yourself accountable, because like you said, there's going to be a lot of streaming choices.
Going to be a lot of stuff, and you just gotta work your way through it, and you gotta keep doing what you want to do.
Right. Talk about it and then do it.
Yes.
Talk about it and do it. And you know, if you want to build a platform and build a following, you've got to be consistent. You know, people are like, "Oh, I want to use Instagram," and I go, "Okay, when was the last time you posted?" "Oh, last month."
Got to get out there and post every day.
You may want to reevaluate that.
You got to do a bandsaw resin sculpture thing.
Yeah, this calendar year, I'm going to do a little bit of behind the scenes, showing you how I make those resin. You want to know how I make those, right, Mike?
Absolutely do.
All right, good. And I want to show you.
Okay.
All right. So, Mike, Happy New Year to you and to all of your important people there in California.
Same to you in New York, New Jersey, I should say.
New Jersey. Yep.
Yes. Jersey.
Yep. And to everyone out there who is watching us and joining us every week, thank you so much. 2023 was an exciting year. I predict that we will focus some of the videos that we do in 2024 more on, I don't know, we really like doing those how-to and behind the scenes, right? Showing the inking and things like that, right, Mike?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. So I think we'll probably hone that a little bit. Hope you guys join us for the ride. Mike, any final thoughts before you do our sign off?
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe. My goodness, Mike, it's almost like you knew which slide I was going to have, and I cheated a little bit here, right? I usually have the Apocalypse Boulevard, but I want people to go to their local comic shop and pick up a copy of A Very Valiant Times, a special. I worked on the Faith and Archer issue story, and I hope that people definitely check it out and write in and tell them how much you loved it, so that they'll want to keep bringing me back over and over again.
That's right, and they can write it in the comments below.
Nobody writes anything in the comments below, Mike.
Maybe you got to start them off.
I got to start them off. All right. So this coming year, Mike, I hope that people set some goals, write them down. And Mike, I will not be here next week. Once again, I'm traveling. We may put in a very special episode of Comics Vision so that people can have a flashback. So you may want to be part of the community and chit chat with people.
I will definitely tune in for that one.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thanks again, Mike. Be sure to order a Valentine special.